Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Daisy. If you're new here, I am the host of this channel. How are you guys all doing? I hope you guys are all fine and keeping safe. From my past videos, I've been noticing I start my videos with I resonate with this thing I'm going to talk about so much, and I never get to ask you guys how you are. I hope you guys are fine. I hope you are keeping safe. So the topic of discussion for today is something very interesting, because I think all of us struggle with it. All of us, at least everyone in the world, I think, struggles with it. And that is forgiveness. Guys, I know it is hard. It is like the hardest thing to do. It's the hardest thing to forgive, especially when someone probably you love has wronged you, or you feel they have really offended you. It's like the hardest thing to do, because you feel like they don't deserve it. Like no amount of of apology or probably sorries will make you feel better. You even swear, you're like, on my mother's grave, let's say your mother died like 10 years ago, on my mother's grave, I can never forgive him. I can never. So like you're there and you keep carrying the grudge everywhere you go. Like it's like a bag, a heavy bag. You carry it everywhere you go and you take it every place you go. So today I want to talk about it because I feel like we need to find a better way how to love ourselves, because forgiveness is an act of love. And yes, forgiving ourselves and also others will make us more happier and live a better life. So what is forgiveness? To forgive someone is to stop being angry at them or stop blaming them for something they did. I feel like this is easier said than done. I can come here and I preach to you how, oh guys, you need to forgive. God said forgive. Jesus will forgive you if you forgive your neighbors. But I know it's hard. I know it's really hard, and I think it's something that takes time. You need to practice it over time. But one thing I know about us is we don't like to forgive, or we rarely forgive, because we have been offended. Like, let's say someone does something so out of this world, like you're like, no, of all things you choose to do this, of all things, and then like you feel like the gravity of what they did does not deserve your forgiveness. You just tell them, I'm done with you, delete my number, forget we ever met, and yeah, let's go our separate ways. It's the easier thing to do, but it's not always the best thing to do. Just because it's easier doesn't mean it's the best. And just as humans, we love to blame others, and it just shows because we don't want to forgive ourselves. So we keep going back to, he did this, how could you imagine the person did this, I can't believe after all the things I've done for them, how could they do this? But blaming others will not change what the other person did. So I am going to use this analogy. Imagine you're holding a bottle of water, a Renzori bottle of water, and it's light, but let's say you hold it the whole day, like till evening. You find yourself tired, you find your hand, even your arms shaking, and you're irritated, you're so tired, your arm is actually killing you because it has become heavy. That is how we get when we hold grudges. At the moment it feels like it's the best thing to do and the best alternative, but as time goes by, it builds up on the inside and becomes heavy. It becomes like a baggage, like we are carrying like heavy luggage, like we are carrying so many things on ourselves. So that is how unforgiveness looks like. And then, have you ever heard about this thing where they say holding a grudge is like drinking poison, hoping it will kill the other person? Because we carry that resentment from what the other person did to us, we carry it along with us, and we feel like the more we are resentful, maybe we think that they will feel the gravity of what they did to us, but I don't think that's true. I think forgiveness is something that we will have to learn and we will have to embrace, because forgiveness is freedom. Forgiveness is freedom. Imagine, even if I don't care what the person did to you, I know it's hard, but imagine waking up one day and you no longer look at the other person who offended you as the enemy or as the perpetrator, because when you hold a grudge, it means you are offended, therefore you're the victim and the other person is the perpetrator. Why would we keep on carrying ourselves as victims, yet we could actually be free from the bondage of unforgiveness? Unforgiveness sets us free to live our lives to the fullest. And I think unforgiveness makes us very bitter, resentful and unhappy people, because you will not find peace. Every time, let's say, the person who you see the person who offended you, you probably jeer, or you know, as dramatic things, especially girls are dramatic. Probably you jeer and you put on a face, or like you start talking bad things about them when they pass you, something of the sort. And at that time it feels good because it strikes your ego. You feel like, yes, he did this, so I have to. But you go back home and you're depleted. You go back home and at the end of the day you are mad. That is your precious time being wasted. And guys, at the end of this whole thing called life, we are going to die. And imagine you dying when you're still mad at someone, or you don't get to live to the fullest because you're mad at someone who offended you. It is hard, but I have felt so much at peace letting some things go, even if I felt like what the person did was grave or it was not nice. But then one thing that has helped me to understand this whole thing of forgiveness is knowing that what a person does to me has nothing to do with me, and it's about them. Maybe them themselves, they are struggling, maybe they have issues that they are dealing with, and the best thing you could do is just probably empathize with them, and just know that maybe they're at a stage of their life where they are not doing okay. Because even me, there are people I have offended that probably think I am the worst person in the world. Like that chick, no, I'm done with her. But looking back, I think where maybe when I had them, I was struggling. I was in a place, I was low in that point of life. But give people the benefit of doubt. I'm not saying go back to them, but understand that maybe they are struggling, and the best you could do is be kind. So forgiveness is an act of kindness. That is just understanding that maybe they are not in a position to be the best of themselves at that point. And then the next thing I want to say is forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. Just because you've forgiven someone doesn't mean that you should let them back in your life. You could let them back in, but if you choose not to, that is not a problem. Forgiveness is just letting go of the anger and the pain, and just allowing yourself to be free from whatever they did. It's just moving on from the past and not letting the past define you. It doesn't mean that just because I have forgiven you, I have to put you back. I have to let you back into my life. That is not what it means. Then the next thing I want to say is I want to talk about the things that you can do in order to understand this whole concept of forgiving people, or what things that will help you forgive better. The first thing is focusing on yourself. Sometimes we actually focus too much on what the other person did, and we fail to look inwards into how we contributed to what happened. And most times we're just blaming. But sometimes if you actually sit back and reflect on what really happened, you might understand that you actually contributed to some of the things that happened. And maybe if you didn't contribute and it's solely on the other person, working on yourself will make you understand that it is not worth it to actually keep on carrying that grudge. And then the other thing is understanding that we are all human, and by us being human, we are imperfect and we are bound to make mistakes. If we put someone on a pedestal and we just think that they are never supposed to disappoint us in life, then that is also our fault. Because if you just understand that we are humans and at some point in life we are bound to disappoint you, then we are bound to disappoint you, then you will live life more happily. I remember I once asked my mom, I'm like, Mommy, should you trust a person 100%? She told me, I don't know if, but okay, I'm telling you what she told me. She told me that you should not trust a person 100% because they can disappoint you anytime. You should leave space for anything that can happen, so that when actually it happens, you can have time, you can have space to, I don't even know how to say this, to get back to life. If you trust a person 100%, something can go wrong and you will not know what to do with your life. That is my mom's advice. So the other thing is, I want to say that forgiveness happens naturally. So many times I've been trying to look around for like content or like read articles on forgiveness, and probably they say very few things about them, but they're not really straight up on how to forgive. They just tell you that forgiveness is this, it's better to forgive, those things, but they never talk about how to forgive. But there's this book I was reading, and it said forgiveness is something that happens naturally when that grudge no longer serves us. You will reach a point and you realize that carrying on that grudge is no longer useful and it's not making your life any better. So until you reach that point, it's not going to be automatic that it will just happen. You will just reach a point in your life and you feel like, me holding this person as the perpetrator is making me not grow as a person, and that anger will just leave you because it's no longer something that really matters. And then the last thing I want to say is forgiveness is actually not an act of weakness, it's actually an act of strength. Just seeing that I don't have to keep on being mad at this person for what they did, because sometimes our ego tells us that we have to carry on anger so that we can feel superior to others or we make ourselves feel better. But when you forgive someone, it's a sign of strength and an act of love for yourself and also for the other person. So that's the video I had for you guys today. Please work on yourselves and maybe consider forgiving the person who you feel wronged you, and also realizing that we are all human and we're bound to make mistakes. See you in my next video. Hope you enjoyed this. Comment below what you think about this video or any tips on how I can probably forgive who hurt me in the past better, or just whatever you can comment anything. like this video, share, and consider subscribing if you love this content. Thank you. Bye bye. See you in my next video.